Hey, I'm Jesse. Let's have a devotion. We're in Luke chapter 22. We're going to begin in verse 31. Simon, Simon, look out. And when God says your name twice, followed by the words look out, is bad news. Satan has asked to sift you like wheat, but I have prayed for you that your faith may not fail. And you, when you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. So there are huge theological implications to just these opening verses. It's consistent with what can be seen in the book of Job, that Satan is subservient to God. He's been given a modicum of freedom over the earth. In fact, Scripture refers to him as the spirit of the power of the air, the power of this age. It's that authority that Satan would use actually to tempt Jesus. He's offering him the authority that the Father has given him. And this freedom has been evidenced since Eden, and it ends in Revelation with Satan's destruction. Satan knows this. In fact, Satan knows Scripture. Every one of the temptations that you and I face come with custom-made parameters put there by God, according to 1 Corinthians 10:13, to ensure that we're never tempted beyond what we can bear. So Satan goes before the Father, asks for permission to attack, and evidently he has just gone before the Father to ask for some pretty extensive parameters within which to attack Peter. The imagery that Jesus used to describe it is sifting like wheat. And in order to sift wheat, you basically just have to brutalize it and beat it. Simon, Simon, look out. Satan has asked to beat you up brutally. But look at Jesus' prayer for him. The prayer is not that you would be spared that attack. The prayer that Jesus prayed for Peter was that his faith would not fail. Jesus didn't pray that Peter would be spared trial. If you came from a prosperity teaching background, this is totally foreign to you, but it's absolutely necessary. Don't blame God for what Satan did. Have faith in the trial. Sometimes God allows you to be brutalized and beaten up. And Jesus' prayer for Peter, and I'll show you in a second how arguably not just Peter, but for all the disciples, I believe that would include you and me, is that our faith would endure. Not that you'd be spared trial, but that your faith would endure. Being blessed by God is not the absence of difficulty. That's heaven. The meantime, we are subject to attacks from evil itself. And what God prays for you is that your faith would not fail. May you come to consider it joy when you face trials of many kinds, because these testings of your faith develop perseverance, and perseverance must finish its work so that you would be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Moreover, not only do you emerge from the other side of this sifting that is given with the permission of God, but you emerge on the other side, not only mature, not only complete, but also with a ministry for others. And when you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. The word you here in the original Greek is plural. He's addressed Simon by name twice. That's Peter's other name, one of Peter's many names. Simon, Peter, Cephas, The Rock, long before the movie star wrestler guy. And he uses the word you, sift you like wheat, and it's kind of like the southern word y'all, which, man, I'm telling you, that's actually a really, really useful contraction. And the end result is that Peter's faith would not fail, and that he would be restored by Jesus on a beach next to breakfast, and that he would then turn and strengthen the brothers. In fact, Peter would be the one who gives the sermon that ushers the church into the New Testament age. Lord, he told him, I'm ready to go with you both to prison and to death. I tell you, Peter, he said, the rooster will not crow today until you deny 3 times that you know me. So this could have all taken place in the upper room. Now look at verse 35. He also said to them, when I sent you out with money bag, traveling bag, or sandals, did you lack anything? Not a thing, they said. Then he said to them, "But now whoever has a money bag should take it, and also a traveling bag. And whoever doesn't have a sword should sell his robe and buy one. For I tell you, what is written must be fulfilled in me." And he was counted among the lawless. This is a quote from Isaiah 53:12, which we'll look at in just a second. Yes, what is written about me is coming to its fulfillment. So it's a warning. You're going to become outlaws. That's exactly what would happen. And it actually still exists in numerous countries today, as Christian missionaries are in fact outlaws. The sword here is for self-defense. This would be misconstrued later on. In fact, look at verse 38. "Lord," they said, "look, here are 2 swords. That is enough," he told them. So they're not going to war. There are only 2 swords. That means that 10, soon to be 9 of them would be left unarmed. Peter is going to take this literally. He doesn't know what Jesus has just said. It's prophesying the outlaw nature of Christianity at its root, at its core, at its beginning. And he was counted among the lawless. This was prophesied in Isaiah 53. Here it is. Here's a little bit more pericope just for context. Here's Isaiah 53, verse 11. "After his anguish, he will see light and be satisfied. By his knowledge, my righteous servant will justify many, and he will carry their iniquities." It's a prophecy about Jesus, 700 years before Jesus was born. Here's the verse that has the quote that Jesus said is being fulfilled right there in the moment. "Therefore, I will give him the many as a portion, and he will receive the mighty as spoil, because he willingly submitted to death. And he was counted among the rebels, yet he bore the sins of many and interceded for the rebels." So even as far back as Isaiah 53, it's prophesied that the suffering servant would willingly give his life. He went to the cross willingly. He had the ability to call legions of angels to end it at any point, but he allowed it to happen, and it would give rise to this rebellion. And the rebels are God's people. That chosen rebellion would defy Rome, and it would take about 300 years before Christianity would become even legalized. So Peter's the one who launches this persecuted church into existence, and he's the one who is first sifted like wheat. God redeems our trials. May we not ask to be spared so much. May we not resent God when we're not spared trial, but may our faith not fail. If you can endure trial and your faith does not fail, then that trial results in the glory of God. Resolve to let your trials be redemptive and thank God for the ministries that you gain because of your testimony that you now have on the distant shore, the other side of your present suffering.